Similar situation happened in consecutive innings, so a base hit or back-to-back-to-back base runners for in the top of the second, and back-to-back-to-back base runners here. We're in the third. Now we're in the fifth, and a similar situation. The first pitch is low for ball one to Morolio. Giovannoni in the stretch. No outs here with 2 on. Giratano over at second. Smoot at first. Here's that 1-0, and that is a 2-hopper towards Tarantino. Throw on to second, on to first, and safes at first is Morolio, but he will get the base runner at second in Smoot.
Second baseman, number 9, Michael.
That was going to be a tough turn and a bang-bang play for Morolio to be at first. That brings up Michael Perry. Perry is also 2 for 2 today. He's batting .304 now after those 2 base hits. Both times he singled straight into left. Free calling out the defensive signals here and setting the Tigers up into double play mode. Carter Hayes on the fringe of the infield grass. Maybe about a step back, but right there. And the first pitch by Giovannoni is low for ball one. Riley Helen on deck. He's 0 for 1. Actually had that walk in the second. Giratano has 3 stolen bases. He's been caught 6 times. He's 3 for 9. Morolio 4-0. The 1-0 is outside for ball 2. Morolio is 4 stolen bases. He's 100%. He's not been caught this season. But he's standing at third. Or excuse me, he's standing at first. Could see a similar situation where you get a little bit of a double steal. Trying to get runs here. Here's that 2-0, and that's line to Carter Hayes. He grabs it, and that's out number 2. Both runners, heads up by both runners to stay put, not get too aggressive, as that's a line out towards Carter Hayes, and he was ready to chuck it towards first, as Morolio may have been just a little bit off the bag, but once again, good heads up by both Giratano. Giratano, excuse me. So with 2 away here, still runners on the corners for Riley Helen. Helen, once again, 0 for 1 today. He walked in the second. Giovannoni looks in. Here's the first pitch, and that's low and in the dirt, but Free does a good job about blocking it to go to 1-0. On deck, Dan James. Should this inning get extended? James Free going ahead and have a little conversation at the mound with Giovannoni, and there is somebody warming up in the bullpen. And I would assume it would be one of the tall freshmen. As I can see back there, is the guy. The guy looks extremely tall, and the freshman here for the Pacific Tigers pitching staff is, if you're not 6'4" or above, you're not Coach Mike News type. It seemed like, as that pitch misses out for ball 2. Ed O'Bannon is probably the tallest freshman here of the freshman pitching recruiting class. He's 6'7". I think Shreve is probably the shortest at 6'4". So sometimes you don't know if it's a basketball team or a pitching team, or as a baseball team, as that pitch is swung on and tipped for strike 1. And a reference towards Ed O'Bannon, obviously his family heritage towards UCLA in basketball. The 2-1, and that's knocked towards a grounder towards the second baseman, Sondry. He'll flip it on to first, and that ends the inning. So a threat by the Dons goes for naught. We'll head to the bottom of the fifth. Tigers leading 7-1 here on the W.TV and on the Tiger Digital Network.
Thousands of cats and dogs each year are housed in animal shelters. Local volunteers and workers help to give these poor animals a second chance. But they can't do it alone. Please go down to your local shelter today to volunteer, donate, or adopt. Your support can help end the 4 million euthanations performed each year on animals. Please help. Give a little to save a lot of life. For more information, visit us at www.humanesociety.org.
Pacific Athletics would like to thank Chase Chevrolet for their generous support. Chase Chevrolet, a proud partner of Pacific Athletics. Bottom of the fifth here at Klein Family Field. Jeff Dominic with you. Thank you all very much here for the final game here for the Pacific Tigers this season. Tigers leading 7-1 over the Dons, West Coast Conference play in their final weekend. Danny Mayer will lead things off. The 5, 6, 7 hitters, Mayer, Halstead, and Barry. Mayer is 2 for 2 today, and so far going out in style for his senior year. Has a home run, drove in 2, had a base hit in the third. That home run was in the first, pretty much capped things off in that 4-run first. Try and continue things on here. Tigers scored 3 in the fourth, and I'll step in. The first pitch, the curveball. Mayer took it for strike 1. Mayer's average now up to 247. As the last 3 weeks have been fairly successful for Mayer. The 0-1 is lifted into center field. Sinatra giving it a ride. He'll look up, make the catch towards the wall, and he found the deepest part from his side, did Mayer. And there's just a long out number 1.
The designated hitter, number 15, Lucas Halstead.
Halstead will step in. He struck out looking in the first and flew out to center field in the third to end the third. First pitch is low for ball 1. (1-0). Called for a strike, goes to 1-1. Quickly, Ponticelli working a swing and a miss, strike 2. Halstead has 59 strikeouts on the season. Does not want to get number 60. Ponticelli working quickly. 1-2, just low, ball 2. Halstead coming into today, he's 16th in walks in the conference. As that 2-2 is swung on and missed, strike 3. That's number 60 of strikeouts for the junior right-hander. And
Left fielder, number 27, Blake Berry.
that'll bring up Blake Berry. Berry's 1 for 2 today. He struck out in the fourth, had that double in the first. So first pitch is inside for ball 1. So as Halstead was 16th in the conference with walks, he's also tied for second coming into today. As that 1-0 is swung on to the shortstop. A little bit of a good throw by Giratano, and that will end the inning. So the Tigers go down 1-2-3. We'll head to the top of the 6th. Tigers lead 7-1 on the W.TV and on the Tiger Digital Network.
the name of the song and the artist.
Statistics show that there are more than 500,000 homeless people in the United States. 500,000 who will not have a roof over their heads, not have a warm bed to fall asleep in, and not know where their next meal will come from. Over 2,000 of them live in our backyard of the greater Stockton area in San Joaquin County. Few are aware of their struggles. The Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity at the University of the Pacific and Stockton Mayor Michael Tubbs will be holding a homelessness awareness event from April 12th through the 14th. During this time, the men of Pike will be experiencing the life of a homeless person by sleeping outdoors, only receiving food by donation, and raising money for local shelters and food banks. Mayor Tubbs will be speaking to the school and addressing this issue of homelessness in Stockton. Donations can be made to Pike's Hit of Reality through check, cash, and card. Every dollar raised will go back into your Stockton community so that someone will know that they won't be falling asleep hungry tonight. This message is brought to you by the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity, Kappa Nu Chapter, and Pacific Tiger Radio.
Hello, son. I'm Dean Rubin from college. Here to invite you to join us this fall.
Me?
You've always wanted to go to college, correct?
Yeah.
Well, here's that invitation you've been waiting for.
Joey, out of bed.
Wake up. You can't dream your way into college. There are actual steps you need to take. For all the steps, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
The Scholarshare Tiger Pack is back for just $40. You can grab 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas to any Pacific baseball game. It's the best value in town. For more information about the Scholarshare Tiger Pack, head online to PacificTigers.com/Tiger Pack. And I think I discredited this kid as he kind of steps in here with a pitching change. That's Ryan Shreve is stepping in here for the 6th inning. Shreve stands 6'6". I said he was standing 6'4". So I cheated him for 2 inches. Well, he can stand 6'4". I think he'd be okay with that. Give me 2 inches. I'd be much happier. I stand at 5'7" on a good day. So give him 6'4", give me 5'9". I'll be happy. But anyways, he'll go ahead and face the bottom third of the order for the USF Dons as the Dons trail 7-1 to the Pacific Tigers here for the final game at Klein Family Field this season for the Tigers. It'll be James, Ramirez, and Bruce. Dan James 1 for 2, batting .298. Had that base hit in the 2nd inning. The first pitch he sees is in there for strike 1. Shreve 1 and 5 on the season, 49 in the 3rd innings, 53 hits, has given up 34 earned runs, striking out 26 while walking 25. A swing and a miss, or a string and foul towards the catcher to go to 0-2. Free, the freshman, 6'6", 197, Sherman Oaks, California. Looking in here. Here's the 0-2. That's up high for ball 1. Most of the outfield is covered in the shadows now. Only one that's probably going to have a little bit of issue is left field. Blake Berry currently standing in the shade to help out with any kind of fly ball hit his way. The 1-2 is low and blocked by James Free. It goes to 2-2. No outs here, top of the 6th inning. 2-2. Also low and blocked by Free. He'll go to 3-2. So Shreve was able to work it to an 0-2 count. After 3 straight misses, it goes to 3-2. Here's that payoff, and that is swung on and rocketed down the right field line, but it'll go foul. James was on it, but just missed it. For Dan James, this is only his 12th start of the season. Came in batting .291, now at .298. The right fielder, the 3-2, and that's lifted foul, and that will head into the seats, probably about 3 rows back. It got out of sight. I would say that it probably just landed a little bit foul, and fans are clapping. Someone must have made a play. Good job, whoever that was. I could not see. Count remains 3-2. 1 run, 8 hits, 1 error for the Dons so far. 7 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for the Tigers. Here's that 3-2. That's lifted also down the left field line. Sondri will give it, that's Carter Hayes. He'll give it a look. That'll foul back, and the count remains 3-2. So James able to fight off a couple of good ones here. Now, I believe this will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. We'll give you Giovannoni's line here in just a moment as he's in line for the win on a decent outing. Here's that 3-2. This time it's lifted into left field. Barry will have to give it a little bit of a slide to his right. He'll reach up, make the catch for out number 1. For Giovannoni, 5 innings, 8 hits, 1 run. That run not being earned. He struck out 3 and walked 2 in 88 total pitches. That was a 9-pitch at bat for a battle, I should say, between Shreve and James. Manny Ramirez Jr. will come in here. Son of Manny Ramirez Sr., the longtime Boston Red Sox, Cleveland Indian, and Los Angeles Dodgers. The first pitch is in there for strike 1. World Series champ Manny Ramirez Sr. Junior having a little bit of a tough day today. He struck out in the second, grounded out to the shortstop in the 4th. Is that 0-1 is in there for strike 2. That was a little low, but the benefit of the call there, and quickly it's an 0-2 count. That's the second time that Shreve has been able to work the 0-2 count. Now we'll see if he can put it away. As he looks in from the windup. Here's that 0-2. And that is blocked by Free. That's something that Free has done over the last, after it goes to 0-2 so far in consecutive at-bats. Trying to put himself in front of it. Shreve's 6.16 ERA after this at-bat. Has struck out 26. Here's the 0-1-2, and that is a check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. First base umpire Christopher Gonzalez putting his hands straight out to his sides and emphatically called that he did not go around. Goes to 2-2. 1 away here in the top of the 6th. The 2-2 just low. That was a borderline pitch. Goes to full count. I thought Free held that pretty nicely. I didn't see that glove move very much, if at all. But trying to look over a 6'2", 205 guy, it's kind of hard too. Here's that 3-2. That is fouled back. Count remains 3-2. Tigers will head off to San Francisco in this little bit of a split series. We mentioned last year the Dons and the Tigers played in AT&T Park last season for 1 game. Payoff pitch. That is knocked towards the shortstop Tarantino on a couple hops. He'll throw on the first, and there are 2 away. Second ground out by Ramirez tonight. But they went to AT&T Park and then came back home, or came back to Klein Family Field for 2 games. And then this year, after that little agreement, they've said, we'll play at Klein Family Field for 1 game, and you come to our new ballpark for 2 games. The first pitch to Harrison Bruce is called for a strike on the outside corner to go to 0-1. So Shreve has been able to work hitters into a favorable count. But once they get to that the 0-2 spot, it becomes more difficult. The 0-1 is lifted towards the third base side. Tarantino will call everyone off. He'll reach up, make the catch. And Shreve goes 1-2-3. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Tigers lead 7-1 on the W.TV and on the Tiger Digital Network.
All right, Tiger fans, time to get on your feet. Jump.
That's the Big Dipper over there, and there's the Little Dipper.
Rub the balloon on your head like this, and then it'll stick to the wall.
Brown shoes, brown belt. Black shoes, black belt.
Pucker your lips, leave a little hole like this, blow out, and that's how you whistle.
And that's why radios don't go near the bathtub.
Come on, Riff! Open your eyes!
Glasses, you idiot!
Remember, you're always teaching. Teach carefully. React with rage, and kids will learn it's okay to do the same. Keep your cool, and kids will do likewise. For a few quick pointers, visit actagainstviolence.org or call 877-ACT-WISE for a free brochure.
Well, a cow pie really isn't a pie.
Brought to you by MetLife Foundation, National Association for the Education of Young Children, and the Ad Council.
Wingstop is the official partner of Pacific Athletics. Skip the wait and order online at wingstop.com. Thomas Ponticelli will go ahead and step in for the sixth inning here at the bottom of the sixth inning for the USF Dons. Taking on the UOP Tigers. It will be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the UOP Tigers as they lead 7-1 here in the final weekend of West Coast Conference play. Glover 1 for 2 today. Struck out in the first. Had a base hit in the fourth with 1 out. Came around later to score off the base hit by Matt Tarantino. Glover and Hayes wound up going back-to-back on the singles. That was in the fourth inning. The fourth inning. The first pitch is in there for strike 1. Tigers went down 1-2-3 in the fifth. The second 1-2-3 inning that they saw. The 0-1 is a one hopper towards the mound. Goes to 1-1. Ponticelli threw 5 innings so far, 10 hits, 7 runs. 6 of those will be earned, 5 strikeouts, 4 doubles, and 1 home run. Here's the 1-1 to Keaton Glover, and that's inside, right on the inside corner for strike 2. The 1-2 quickly working, and that goes straight up the middle. 2 for 3 is Keaton Glover. And a leadoff base hit.
The Tiger third baseman, number 3.
Actually, it's the second time that he's knocked one right up the middle. So a good way to end his season so far is Keaton Glover is now 2 for 3. I should say ended his season here at home. Tigers are 15-9 at home, and looking is Carter Hayes, third baseman. First pitch he takes in there for strike 1. Right on the inner half, right above the knees, right at the knees. Glover 2 for 3 in stolen bases. We'll see if he takes off. He does. And it is a swing and foul down the third base line. So Glover will have to head back to first, and it is now 0-2. On deck, Kevin Sondry. Sondry 0 for 3. Reached on the error in the first inning. Later scored by the one-out double by James Free. So Carter Hayes looks in. Just off the corner to go to 1-2. Carter Hayes 6'1". The Carmel, California kid. Here's that 1-2, and that is right at the second baseman. He'll flip on to short, throw on to first, and that is a twin killing double play. 4-6-3. And that quickly puts 2 outs for Kevin Sondry. Ponticelli now at 90 pitches so far, so 6 innings, is looking possible for Thomas Ponticelli. As the first pitch to Sondri is checked and on the outside corner misses for ball 1. The 1-0 is in the dirt, skips away, and it goes to 2-0. On deck, Matt Tarantino. Tarantino 1 for 3. Had that base hit that drove in Glover in the 4th. And that is lifted into left center field. Racing after it on the racing just in front of the track is Bruce. He'll make the catch, and that'll end the inning. So the Tigers get one on, but after the double play, that pretty much ended everything, and Sondri flew out to left field. So we head to the top of the 7th. Tigers lead 7-1 on the Tiger Digital Network and on the W.TV.
In the great scheme of things, a minute isn't all that much. Unless you happen to have a stroke. All of a sudden, those minutes count. Minutes that could mean losing your ability to talk. Minutes that could mean losing your ability to walk. Talking, moving, walking, gone. Which is why, if you can get help in time, your stroke can be treated. The warning signs of a stroke include sudden numbness or weakness of the face, sudden trouble seeing, speaking, or understanding. If you experience this, call 911 immediately, because time lost is brain lost. Visit strokeassociation.org or call 1-888-4STROKE today. A public service announcement brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Know the facts about African Americans and stroke. To join the movement to stop stroke, visit strokeassociation.org today.
Lincoln Center is Stockton's premier shopping and dining destination. Enjoy boutique shopping, our award-winning restaurants, and family-friendly atmosphere. Conveniently located at Pacific Avenue and Benjamin Holt, less than 15 minutes from the University of the Pacific. Visit LincolnCenterShops.com for a list of stores that offer a discount to all UOP students. Lincoln Center, always in style. Top of the 7th here as we'll see Ryan Shreve take the mound after a 1-2-3 inning. He'll see the top of the order. First pitch is up high for ball 1 to Sinatro. It'll be Sinatro, Giratano, and Smoot. There is a little bit of action over there in the Dons bullpen. The 1-0 is up high as well to go to 2-0. Sinatro 1 for 3, batting .308 now. Grounded out to the third baseman in the first. Had the base hit in the third and grounded out to the second base side in the 4th. That misses outside and high for ball 3. And a 3-0 pitch is called for a strike. It was a little low, but called for a strike to go to 3-1. Get you up to date here on the scores here in just a moment. I'm sure everyone's kind of keeping an eye on those standings. The top 4 will advance to the tournament. The 3-1 is lifted into left field. Barry has to kind of race back towards the warning track. Makes the catch, almost loses his balance, but there's one away. Sinatro hit that one pretty far for a left-handed batter to hit one towards left field. So we mentioned earlier, St. Mary's beat Santa Clara 13-7. San Diego and Pepperdine still no score. BYU beating Gonzaga 4-2. Loyola Marymount 6-2. I'll have to kind of see if that'll refresh because that looks like a late score because it still shows 5-1 as the first pitch is in there for a strike to Giratano. So it is Pepperdine up 1-0 to San Diego. Gonzaga is actually beating BYU 10-4. The 0-1 is up high and outside, ball 1 to go to 1-1. Gonzaga 10-4 over BYU. Loyola Marymount beating Portland 6-3. And then once again, our score here is 7-1. The 1-1. Check swung, but it's called strike. Nevertheless, it goes to 1-2. Our score here, 1 run on 8 hits and 1 error for the Dons. For the Tigers, 7 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors. And Shreve deals the 1-2. And that is outside, blocked by James Freed to go to 2-2. One out here, just getting kind of going on here on the 7th inning. Light starting to take effect here at Klein Family Field. The 2-2 by Ryan Shreve is swung on and knocked down the right field line, but just foul. Count remains 2-2. For the Tigers, it'll be the 2, 3, 4 hitters. Tarantino, Free, and Schultz at the bottom of the 7th. The biggest thing that I'm looking at here is runners in scoring position. USF 0 for 8, while the Pacific Tigers 5 for 7. 5 for 10 with 2 outs, 3 for 9 for the Dons with 2 outs. The 2-2, that's just low, ball 3. So another 3-ball count by Ryan Shreve. It's the 4th in the last 2 innings. Here's the full count pitch, and that's grounded over towards the second baseman, Sondry. He'll flip that over to first, and that is out number 2. Still to this day, we're at the end of the season, and Sondry standing either at second or third still kind of throws me off sometimes because I'm so used to last season him being the shortstop as a freshman, and obviously that gets replaced by a great player in Matt Tarantino. But he was that cornerstone in the infield last season for the Tigers. And I actually am I got to be careful on that as the first pitch to Smoot is in there for strike 1 because Luis Mejia may be listening in, and he was a good second baseman for many years. J.J. Wagner, what more can you say about him over at third base? But Sondry was that guy that was starting to really show himself as the 0-1 is a curveball in there for strike 2 on the inner half. But Sondry was starting to show himself as a little bit of a building block around what that freshman staff was going to look like, and so that's why I kind of said how I said it. He was that young player that was up and coming. The 0-2 fastball that's low for ball 1. And Sondry had his learning curves at the shortstop position, and he probably would have been a regular second baseman or possibly a third baseman if Nick Owasa wouldn't have gone down with the injury. And Carter Hayes went down with an injury as well, so that kind of really put Sondry in a great spot as he could play both positions. The 1-2, and that's lifted into center field. Glover has to run to his left. He'll run in and make a sliding catch, but that is off his glove, throw it into second, and it goes. Tarantino kind of just jumped over it, and I think he was kind of anticipating the slide by Smoot, and he is in there into second safely. And I'm going to say that they'll give him a double, so he's 4 for 4. Glover kind of walking back.
The catcher number 26.
Smoot now at 376. Dominic Marolio steps in, and they're giving him a little bit of grief, the PA guy, because he had a little bit of. It's a hard name to say. I'm not going to sit there and say it's not, but it's Dominic Marolio steps in with 2 away and a 2-out double by Smoot. Puts Marolio in a spot where he can drive in 1 and go and have a base hit if he's 0 for 3 right now. The first pitch is low and outside for ball 1. I was watching Perry as he came into the circle here for in the batter's box, and he was kind of looking up into the press box, kind of smiled as. I want to say that it's been a time or two that he's had a little bit of an issue trying to say Marolio, especially when he first came in. The 1-0, and that is fouled back on the fists of Marolio, and it goes to 1-1. On deck, as mentioned, Michael Perry. Two outs here in the top of the 7th. Shreve looks in. Here's that 1-1, a curveball. Check swing did Morello, but pulled it back in time. It goes to 2-1. I would have thought that Free may have tried to at least get a second opinion, but did not even point towards the first base side at all. Check the runner back at second. Here's the 2-1, and that's lifted into left field. Barry will give it a run, but he'll look up. That's off the wall, and that will be a 2-out double. Scoring is Smoot, and the Dons are able to cut the lead to 7-2. And an RBI by Morello.
Second baseman number 9, Michael Perry.
Brings up Michael Perry. 2 for 3 today, batting .302 currently. He lined out to the third baseman in the 5th inning. And what was a heads-up play by Carter Hayes, where he had runners on the corner and 1 out. So the first pitch is a swing and a miss for strike 1. Yeah, Carter Hayes Perry lined that to Carter Hayes, and Hayes quickly looked at first, almost threw it to first as it was Smoot that was kind of playing off the bag just a little bit, but a heads-up play by Carter Hayes would then put 2 away. The 0-1 is up high, right across the letters to go to 1-1. Michael Perry from Alameda, California. One of 2 juniors in this lineup. Looking to end his season on a good note. Here's that 1-1, and that is just outside for ball 2. Looks like there may be another pitcher warming up or stretching. I can't really tell. Nope, he's actually walking back towards off the screen where I can't even see who it may have been. But the 2-1's the count. On deck is Helland. Shreve deals, and that is foul tipped into the catcher's glove to go to 2-2. It was a warm night or warm day today here in Stockton and in the central area. It's about 90 degrees. I heard it's going to be around 100 over the weekend, so stay hydrated if you're in this area or stay cool. Find a pool, find some water slides, wherever you can find them. The 2-2 to Perry. A curveball, and that's lift shot into the left field. That will drop for a base hit. Coming around to score is Morello. A long throw, but that will be well high, and that will let the runner advance to second. As Barry threw that one off into the foul netting. And the lead goes to 7-3. So it cuts the lead. Morello may have been safe regardless, but that could be that is a base hit and advance on the throw. That may actually get someone loosening up here a little bit. This may be the final. This will be the final. I would assume be the final inning for Shreve. With 2 away, runner goes, throw to third, and it's not in time as that was a collision over at third between Carter Hayes and Perry. Perry never even slid. He just ran right into Hayes, and they got up close and personal. So a stolen base and a 1-0 count coming up to Helen. Still with 2 away. Shreve was able to get the first two batters. Sinatro to fly out to the left and a ground out by Giratano. Is that is called for a strike? Should go to 1-1. Or did I miss it and think that was a ball? I'll wait for the signal here. Here's the 0-2, and that's outside for ball one. I was more focused on the... It is 1-2. Excuse me. I was looking at the runner stealing, and I did not look at the home plate umpire if he called it a ball or a strike. So it will be 1-2. Shreve trying to get out of this inning without any more damage. Here's that 1-2, and that is grounded towards the third baseman, Hayes. Hayes gathers it. He'll throw on towards the first base side, and that will end the inning. So the Dons are able to get two. We head to the bottom of the seventh inning. It's stretch time here at Klein Family Field. Tigers leading 7-3 on the W.TV and on the Tiger Digital Network.
Some look up to the man of steel and others follow lines in the web. But I look up to my real life icon, my dad, and calling him anything less than great would be misguided. In his warm arms I confided all of my fears. And as my time to rear others grows near, I'm reminded that women marry men just like their fathers. And I hope that's true. Anything less, might as well not even bother.
A message from the National Fatherhood Initiative, the Ad Council, and this radio station. Visit fatherhood.org for more information. Have you been a dad today?
Everybody needs clean water, especially Ariel the Little Mermaid and all her friends under the sea.
Flounder, hurry up!
And no matter where you live, what you do above the ocean affects all the living creatures below it.
Scuttle, look what we found!
Human stuff, huh? To keep our oceans clean, recycle and dispose of trash properly.
Isn't it fantastic?
To learn what you can do, go to keepoceansclean.org. This has been a message from Environmental Defense, the National Marine Sanctuary Foundation, NOAA, and the Ad Council.
Matt Tarantino will lead things off here for the Tigers here in the bottom of the seventh inning. Jeff Dominic with you. Thank you all very much for tuning in here to the final home game for the Pacific Tigers. As the first pitch is fouled back to go to 0-1. It'll be Tarantino, Free, and Schultz. Final conference series final conference series in general for these two teams. Between the USF Dons, as that pitch is lined towards or grounded towards the shortstop, Giratano. He'll make the throw, but that will be well offline. It'll actually head off into the dugout. Tarantino will go ahead and head on to second. Should be counted as a base hit and an error on the throw, I would think, and they do. And final conference matchup for these two teams between the USF Dons and the Pacific Tigers. And they did count it as a single and an error. As I got a little scared for a minute. Oh, my goodness. Oh, some things still catch me on my toes. But a leadoff base hit, and then now a runner in scoring position for James Free. Free 2 for 3 today. As the first pitch is a swing and a miss for strike one. Free counts for 3 of the RBIs for the Tigers. The 0-1, and that's another swing and a miss for strike 2. Free had a double in the first, later scored on the double by Schultz, and then also had a double in the fourth inning. He only popped out to the shortstop. That was back in the third, so he's a very successful freshman season so far with a couple games left. The 0-2, and that's just fouled back to stay 0-2. And Thomas Ponticelli still on the mound. He's gone through 6. Going into this at bat. Here's I believe is the 99th pitch of his outing. There is someone warming up, and it is a lefty, it looks like. Here's that 0-2. That is knocked right up the center, and that will land for a base hit. Coming around the score is Tarantino, and the Tigers push their lead back up to 5, 8-3. He's got 4 RBIs.
The Tiger first baseman, number 33, Ryan Schultz.
I mean, it's just, it's he may not be surprised, but at the same time, this kid he's done some great things, and it looks like head coach Nino Giarratano is going to go ahead and go to the mound, and it looks like there may be a pitching change. There is, so we'll step aside here as the Tigers lead 8-3 on the W.TV and on the Tiger Digital Network.
So, which one's yours?
The one at bat.
Oh, that's okay, Chris.
Only my kid could strike out in T-ball.
Oh, run, Chris, go! Looks like he's having some trouble running.
Oh, he's wandering way off the baseline.
It's like he can't see.
Oh my gosh, his helmet is too big.
It's as big as a bucket.
You know, I must have gotten him an adult one. What was I thinking?
You're out!
Oh.
When safety equipment doesn't fit, it's game over. That goes for your kid, too. If they're too big for a car seat, that doesn't mean they're the right size for an adult safety belt. If they're under 4'9", they need a booster seat. It raises them up so the safety belt fits properly. And the right fit makes all the difference to their future. To learn more, visit www.boosterseat.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Want to fight childhood asthma? Then fight it with a scrub brush and a hot soapy towel. Even in the neatest and tidiest homes, if there's so much as a crumb to eat or a drop to drink, household pests like bugs and mice will do all that they can to get it. And they're more than just a nuisance for kids with asthma, because they can actually trigger an asthma attack. So, sweep up crumbs, wipe down tables, scrub dishes before they pile up in the sink, and store leftovers in plastic bags or bowls. Don't leave bugs and mice so much as one tidbit or nibble, and you can stop a childhood asthma attack before it starts. Discover other simple ways to prevent an asthma attack. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS or visit noattacks.org, because no child should feel like a fish out of water. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. EPA, the Ad Council, and this station.
My name's Rachel, and I'm 10 years old. I like riding my bike, playing soccer, and in 8 years, I'll be an alcoholic. I'll start drinking in middle school, just at parties. My friends will drink, so I will too.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults.
My parents won't really know what's going on yet. I mean, I'll do okay in school, but when I drink,
New pitcher here for the USF Dons. It'll be Grant Young, the left-handed pitcher. First pitch to Ryan Schultz is outside for ball 1. Standing on first is James Free after the base hit. Puts him 3 for 4. Drove in Matt Tarantino. The 1-0 is called for a strike. That one was a little bit higher than about the same kind of pitch type on the outside half, and this one was just a little higher, and the home plate umpire called that one for a strike. Tigers leading 8-3 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The 1-1 is fouled down the left field line, and it'll go to 1-2. Jeff Dominic with you here. Thank you all very much for joining us. And the final home game here for the Pacific Tigers of the season. And Danny Mayer on deck. Here's that 1-2, a swing and a miss, a curveball that Schultz went fishing for. Goes to 1 out.
Right fielder number 34, Danny Mayer.
Tarantino had that base hit over towards the shortstop, and unfortunately, Giarratano just threw that one well into the, I would say, the camera well area towards the Dons dugout, advancing Tarantino over to second. Free knocked him home right up the middle. Free had a base knock. well, maybe a little towards the second base side, but that drove in Tarantino as that first pitch is a high foul pop-up, and that'll go out of play. About 7 rows deep. Danny Mayer now 0-1. Mayer's 2 for 3 today. He had a home run in the 4th inning that basically capped that 4-run first inning. Had a base hit in the 3rd. He flew out to the center fielder in a very long out in center field. He found probably the deepest part of the ballpark for him, which is over there in right center. Here's the 0-1, and that's a curveball that just did not curve at all. Instead, it goes to 1-1. For the Dons, it'll be bottom part of the order. It'll be 7, 8, 9. James Ramirez Jr. and Bruce. Tigers have already accounted for 1 run here in the bottom of the 7th. Dons had 2 runs in the top of the 7th. Here's that 1-1, and that's lifted high towards the second base or towards the shortstop side. Second baseman will call everyone off. Perry round all the way towards the shortstop side. Kind of surprising. I would think Jed Giratano would take that one. That's his call. But he let Perry take it, and there are 2 away.
The Tiger designated hitter, number 15, Lucas Halstead.
Brings up Halstead. Halstead having a little bit of a tough night. 0 for 3 and had 2 strikeouts. Came in second with the most strikeouts. The first pitch is a curveball that did curve nicely in for strike 1. Halstead just does not seem like he's seen the ball well at all. Primarily this whole season, the 0-1, and that's on the outside corner, just misses for ball 1. But if he gets a hold of one, he has 5 home runs this season, has driven in 19. If he gets a hold of one, he can send one deep. The 1-1, and that's a curveball that kind of skips away, but free, not moving. Goes to 2-1. And Halstead has been shuffled around a little bit too, was playing right field for a good portion of the season. Has had to move over to the designated hitter role. The 2-1, and that is on the outside corner, just missing to go to 3-1. Halstead at 209. So he's kind of checked his swing, and he was still called for strike 2. Now works it to a payoff pitch here with runner on first. That's free. He will be moving on this pitch. 2 outs. Here's that payoff pitch and a curveball, and got Halstead swinging, and that'll end the inning. So Tigers get 1 run back on 2 base hits, but 2 strikeouts to pretty much end the inning, and a flyout by Danny Mayer. We head to the top of the 8th. Tigers lead 8-3 on the W.TV and on the Tiger Digital Network.
If you know the 2 newest eateries inside Lincoln Center, what are they? Are they A, Market Tavern and Bud Seafood? Is it B?
In 1805, Lewis and Clark described in their journals a country teeming with wildlife.
Bison as far as the eye can see.
Rivers churning with fish.
They wrote of scenes of endless beauty and of meeting more than 100 nations of American Indian whose lives were one with our environment. Now, imagine what Lewis and Clark and the American Indians they met would say if they walked the trail today. Would they be pleased?
There are herds of homes where the buffalo once roamed.
Or would they feel differently?
Something must be done to save what's left of this great place.
As we commemorate the Lewis and Clark Bicentennial, we encourage you to consider what's been lost and what we can do to preserve what's left of the trail that still winds through us all. Walk with Lewis and Clark and see what you discover at www.lewisandclark200.org.
This is a public service message of the National Council of the Lewis and Clark Bicentennial, the Missouri Historical Society, and the Ad Council.
Top of the 8th inning here at Klein Family Field. Jeff Dominic with you here on the W.TV and on the Tiger Digital Network. So glad you can make it, as we will see the bottom part of the order for the USF Dons, who trail 8-3 to the Pacific Tigers. It'll be James Ramirez Jr. and Bruce. Ryan Shreve on the mound for another inning of work. From the windup, here's the first pitch. That just misses for ball 1 to James. James 1 for 3. Had a base hit in the second. Grounded out to the second baseman in the fourth. And in the sixth, he flew out to left field as that 1-0 is fouled back to go to 1-1. Tigers were able to get one of those runs back here in the bottom of the seventh after the base hit by Tarantino reached a second after the error as the 1-1 is fouled down for strike 2 to go to 1-2. Tarantino had that base hit. Giratano may have tried to do too much. Instead of just taking it, he tried to make the throw. Tarantino hustling down the line, reached first, was granted second after the error. The 1-2 is lined right up the middle and will go land for a base hit. So a leadoff base hit for James, put him 2 for 4 for Manny Ramirez Jr. But then Free was able to knock him in after a base hit up the middle, and that extended the lead back to 8-3. Manny Ramirez Jr. is going to get... They said it was going to be a pinch hit, but I think that's still Manny Ramirez Jr. I'll double check on that. As the first pitch, now with the runner on first, is fouled back to go to 0-1. That's still Ramirez. I want to make sure I caught myself because I did hear an announcement for a pinch hitter. Shreve so far, 2 innings, 4 hits. This including that hit just happened. 2 runs, both runs being earned, and has pretty much ends his inning. Snap throw back to first. Back in time was pinch running. Excuse me. I apologize. I did not see. I just kind of looked over and it's so pinch running is Tyler Villaroman. The 1-1, and that is low for ball 2. So Villaroman over at first after the base hit by James. And that 2-1 is low and outside, ball 3. 52 pitches going into this at-bat. This will be pitch number 57 for Shreve. With no outs here in the top of the 8th. 3-1 on the way. Lifted into right field. Mayer on the run. That will drop for a base hit. And now with 2 on and no outs, they'll bring up Harrison Bruce. That was just a looping fly ball that just was in no man's land. A little bit of a delay.
Pitching for the Dons, number 13, Aaron Ping.
That'll actually change of a pinch hitter. Aaron Ping will be taking the place of Bruce. Ping batting 182. 10 hits on 55 at-bats. Counts for 6 RBIs. Has struck out 18 times. He has 2 home runs, a triple and a double. With 2 on here, here's the first pitch, and that's a swing and a miss. A little off-speed pitch that Ping went swinging away at. Aaron Ping, the junior from San Diego, California, went to Patrick Henry High School. Will likely be in left field after this inning. The 0-1. That is on the outside corner, strike 2. So far, Shreve has been able to work a count to his favor. And a lot of times he's been ahead, but has not been able to really close things out over the last couple of innings. Looking in, here's that 0-2. That is outside, ball 1. Shreve has been a fairly oftenly used pitcher. He's got 51 in a third innings up to this point. Regularly, or lately I should say, as he looks in. Here's the 1-2. That is just outside, ball 2. So Shreve usually will come in and replace Giovannone over the last few Friday starts. Giovannone has come in to pitch. And he would come in and basically be his reliever, whether it be in the, usually, hopefully after 5. Looks in, checks the runner at second. Villaroman over at second, as that is chopped towards the second base side. He'll flip it over towards the second base covering. Not able to get there is Sondri, as it was a bad throw by Tarantino, and a run will score. And heading over to third is Ramirez Jr.
Center fielder, number 4, Matt Sinatra.
So that would be an error on Tarantino. Scoring was Villaroman. Moving over to third is Ramirez Jr. Still no one out. Score is 8-4. And that'll bring in head coach Mike New with runners on the corners. 2 Dons on. 1 Don has scored. And that'll be the end of Shreve's night. We'll get you a new pitching matchup, pitching change here when we come back here on the W.TV and on the Tiger Digital Network.
Hi there, this is Sammy Hagar here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. Now, style's a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody else's business. Please plan ahead. Designate before you celebrate, because friends do not let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
That's the Big Dipper over there.
Yellow and blue make green.
Well, a cow pie really isn't a pie.
Come on, Riff! Open your eyes!
Remember, you're always teaching. Teach carefully. React with rage, and kids will learn it's okay to do the same. Keep your cool, and kids will do likewise. For advice, visit actagainstviolence.org. Brought to you by MetLife Foundation, National Association for the Education of Young Children, and the Ad Council.
What does freedom of speech mean to me?
I don't know. I've never really thought about it.
Freedom of speech means I can speak out against the majority.
It means I can express my opinion freely.
It's the American dream.
It's the First Amendment.
It means everyone has a voice. I guess freedom of speech is more than a right. It's a responsibility.
A message from the National Association of Broadcasters, Education Foundation, and this station.
Some people still don't believe that secondhand smoke is dangerous. This is Scott Bakula. Did you know that just being around someone who smokes can cause severe lung problems, heart disease, and cancer? But there is something you can do about it. Call for a free booklet from the Will Rogers Institute. It clearly explains the proven risks of secondhand smoke and the ways you can avoid exposure. Toll free 1-877-957-7575. Because secondhand smoke is dangerous. Believe it.
Tigers bring in their closer here in the top of the 8th inning. Still no one out. 1 run has come across for the Dons. And with runners on the corners, Shreve's night is done. He's still responsible for the runners. Well, he's responsible for the one of the runners, I believe. And it'll be Vince Arobio, their senior closer for the Tigers, coming in here and going to try and minimize the damage. And for Arobio, he's 4-4 on the season, 6 saves. 4.38 ERA. As he'll take on the leadoff hitter, Matt Sinatro. No outs, runners on the corners. Ping at first, Ramirez Jr. on third. What looked to be possibly a double play ball by Matt Tarantino went awry and scored. First pitch he sees is a chopper towards Sondri. Sondri will flip it to short, on to first, but Sinatro is too fast, and it'll be a fielder's choice, 4-6. But scoring on the play, Ramirez Jr. I'll double check on the
shortstop, number 6, Nico Giratano.
I'll double check on what Shreve is responsible for here in the next inning. And there was no way that Tarantino was going to get Sinatro, but big deal to get the one out. It is now 8-5. First pitch misses low for ball one. To Giratano. Giratano has reached base twice. Reached in the third on an error by the second baseman, and in the fifth on a walk. Tigers lead 8-5. The 1-0, and that is lifted foul. We'll go to 1-1. So back-to-back base hits followed by an error on Tarantino. Plated one run, and then now this fielder's choice has now plated two. The 1-1 runner goes, and a swing and a miss, but it will be a stolen base. I think that's going to be a stolen base regardless, because it should go 1-2. And it is going to be a stolen base. And I think that may have dinged free just a little bit. He had to take a minute, went over to the pitcher, Arobio, just to shake things off, and now he's back behind home plate. Here's the 1-2 to Giratano. That's a swing and a miss for strike three. So 2 outs here. A big run standing on second. USF has scored 2 runs in consecutive innings now.
Alan Smoot.
Alan Smoot will step in on he's having I would say a stellar season, this being his senior year, and a stellar game. 4 for 4, 3 base hits, and a double in the 7th. Here's the one guy you don't want to face as the first pitch is low for ball one. Senior on senior matchup. As a right-handed Vince Arobio takes on the left-handed batter, Alan Smoot, the third baseman. Steps in. Here's that 1-0, and that is foul, or that's not foul, that is down to the backstop, and it'll go move runner up. Now it's going to 2-0. It'll be a pass ball. Sinatro now at third. I shouldn't say I'll assume it. I assume nothing at this point. And it is a pass ball. So big runs now standing 90 feet away for Alan Smoot, who looks in with a 2-0 count. The 2-0 by Arobio. That is on the outside corner, but just misses to go to 3-0. And you have a dangerous hitter in Marolio, albeit that he's 1 for 4. He does have that double that was off the wall, missing a home run by, I would say, probably about 7 feet, as the 3-1 is called for a strike. Two away here in the top of the 8th inning. 2 runs have scored for USF. Here's the 3-1, and that misses. That's ball 4. So Smoot has reached base 5 times tonight. And the way that things kind of perceive, I would assume that he's had quite a few nights where he's been 4 for 4 and reached base 5 times. I don't think I'm stretching out on the limb here. As Dominic Morolio will come in from the right side. And with 2 away and 1 swing, he could tie this game right up. Morolio has 8 home runs on the season. 38 RBIs. He has a double in the 7th. Went to a fielder's choice in the 5th and struck out twice. That in the 3rd and the 1st. 2 away. Runners on the corners. Here's the first pitch. That was a curveball right there for strike 1 on the inner half. That was a great pitch. Smoot on first. Sinatro on third. For Sinatro, that's his 23rd stolen base. Pushes him up to now over 79% success rate. The 0-1. That is outside, ball 1. Morolio, the junior from Oakland, California. Batting .277 on the season. With 2 away. Here's that 1-1, and that is lifted into right field. Mayer has to kind of started to charge in and then kind of went back. Took about 8 steps backwards and makes the play. So threat averted, and we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll see the bottom part of the order. Tigers lead 8-5 on the W.TV and on the Tiger Digital Network.
How can we help prepare our kids for the future? Hi, this is Roger McGuinn. These days, our children face challenges unimaginable to us only a generation ago. We adults need to help our kids find something in school that really sparks their interest and keeps them involved. If that something happens to be music, the child will benefit in so many ways. Playing music in school is a great way to make friends. Studies are showing that kids involved in music are less likely to get into trouble, and kids who studied music find science and math easier to grasp. They tend to score higher on SATs. It has something to do with something called spatial IQ. So get your kids involved with school music. It's a great way to help prepare them for life.
A PSA brought to you by MENC, the National Association for Music Education, and the National Anthem Project, the campaign to restore America's voice through music education. Music, part of a sound education.
We'll get you a couple of defensive changes for the Dons as they've kind of moved things around after a pinch runner and a pinch hitter have kind of come in, and we'll give you that set up here in just a moment. Tigers will come in leading 8-5 as it's will be 7, 8, 9 hitters. Blake Berry will step in here, and as he is 1 for 3 today, batting .250 in his senior year. It'll be Ping moving to right, Villaroman now in center, and Sinatro moves to left as the first pitch is up high for ball 1. Berry had that double in the first. The infield will stay the same as the 1-0 is swung on and missed, a breaking ball that Berry's eyes lit up for. So Tyler Villaroman is now standing in center field. He came in pinch ran for James, who was in right field, as that 1-1 is now in there for strike 2. And then Aaron Ping came in, and he is now over in right field. The 1-2, that is a breaking ball that went about 57 feet to go to 2-2. So the Dons have scored 2 runs in consecutive innings. It started off by James with a base hit. Villaroman came in and pinch ran Ramirez came in with a base hit, put runners on first and second. The 2-2 is fouled back. Stays 2-2. Bruce came in, reached on an error that scored Villaroman. Or excuse me, Ping came in and reached on an error that scored Villaroman. A fielder's choice by Sinatro scored the other run, and a strikeout, a walk, and a fly out to the right pretty much ended things. A base hit right up the middle. The second baseman will not have a throw. Barry kind of hustled down that line, give Barry an infield base hit. So that went right up the middle in the hardest spot for either Perry or Giratano can even reach for. Grant Young gives up another base hit, or gives up a base hit. Grant Young 1-0 on the season, 6.52 ERA, 1 save, 19 in the third innings pitched. He's given up 14 earned runs, but struck out 21 opposing batters. And I'll step in for Keaton Glover. Glover having a decent night, 2 for 3. Struck out in the first, but back-to-back base hits in his next 2 at-bats. Is the curveball in there for strike 1 on the outside corner. Glover came around later to score in the 4th inning, thanks to Matt Tarantino. The 0-1. Squaring around the bunt, and a good bunt by Keaton Glover. And I don't think he's going to have a play. He does. He throws it on to first, does the catcher, and there's one away. But moving up to second is Blake Berry. That's a good heads-up bunt. That's actually a great bunt by Keaton Glover. Probably the best bunt he's actually had this season.
Third baseman number 3, Carter Hayes.
2-3, and Carter Hayes will come in. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Had that base hit in the 4th inning. Grounded out to a double play in the 6th. That was that 4-6-3 double play. One away, runner on second is Barry. Barry had that infield base hit. As the first pitch is taken for strike 1. Sondri on deck. The 1-1. And that goes into the dirt. Running back to second is Barry. It was a kind of a nice throw by the catcher, Dominic Morolio. 8-5 is our score here. 5 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors for the Dons, while the Tigers are at 8 runs, 14 hits, 3 errors. The 1-1, and a swing and a miss by Carter Hayes, and that goes to 1-2. The 1-2 is outside, and it goes to 2-2. The final home game here for the Pacific Tigers this season. They will head off to USF tomorrow at 2 o'clock and then finish up the series at 1. They will have one more game, but that's against UC Davis, and I believe that will be on Monday. The 2-2 just almost rung them up. That was a borderline pitch. Went just about the belt high, but it was close. It goes to 3-2. One away here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's that payoff pitch. That is right towards the shortstop. Heading back to second is Barry. Throw on to first, and that is out number 2. So a 6-3 ground out, and that'll bring up Kevin Sondri. Sondri, the last chance to score a run. And at the top of the 9th inning, it'll be the 5, 6, 7 hitters. It'll be Perry, Helen, and Villaroman. We'll see what he can do. But first here's Kevin Sondri. Sondri, first pitch is in the dirt. Blocked nicely by Dominic Morolio for ball 1. Perry is 3 for 4. Helen is 0 for 3, and no official at bat for Villa Roman. He came in as a pinch runner in the last inning. The 1-0, and that is right up the middle. Look out for the pitcher. That will come around. Scoring is very misplayed by the center fielder, but that would have been, regardless, a run. It's 9-5 Tigers. Kevin Sondry with a nice base hit right up the middle, and Young had to watch out because that was a shot right up the middle. And of course, following that up will be Matt Tarantino. Tarantino is 2 for 4. Had a base hit and an RBI in the 4th inning. And in the 7th, he had a base hit. Came around later to score from James Free. James Free on deck. Should he get a 5th at bat? Here's the first pitch to Tarantino, and that's low and outside, ball 1. Tarantino, one of the 2 College of Marin transfers from this year. As that 1-0 is lifted into center field. After it is Villa Roman. He'll make a catch on the run, and that'll end the inning. So the Tigers get 1. We head to the top of the 9th. Tigers lead 9-5 over the USF Dons here on the W.TV and on the Tiger Digital Network.
My hero doesn't wear a cape or have superpowers. She doesn't slay dragons or kill wizards. No one wants my hero's autograph. She never goes to Hollywood parties, and she definitely doesn't have a star on the Walk of Fame.
My hero doesn't try to sell me soda, candy bars, cereal, or cheeseburgers.
You won't hear my hero song on the radio. He doesn't have a crew, bling bling, or a mansion.
You can't buy my hero's makeup line, handmade purses, or designer baby clothes.
My hero didn't win the pennant. She can't do a 360 dunk, and there's no way she'll score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Some of New York's most admired figures are the city's public school teachers. Just ask one of the millions of kids who learn from these heroes every day. For more information on the most rewarding job you can imagine, visit teachnyc.net. Join New York's brightest. Teach NYC. A public service announcement brought to you by the New York City Department of Education, the Appleseed Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Top 9 here at Klein Family Field. Jeff Dominic with you. Thank you all very much for joining us here, as this is the final home game of the season for the Tigers. The final series of the West Coast Conference play for the Tigers as well, as they will head off to USF tomorrow and head on to finish up this series. The second game scheduled for 2 o'clock in San Francisco, and then the Sunday game will be at 1. All can be seen on the W.TV. And we will see Vince Arobio come in for another inning. So we're accustomed to see him usually working 2 innings. What more can you say about the senior who leads the program in saves? 4-4. He's had 6 saves this season. As the first pitch to Michael Perry is swing and a miss for strike 1. Perry has had a decent night tonight. 3 for 4. Had 3 straight singles. He had an RBI in the 7th. That RBI drove in Smoot. As the 0-1 is lifted high in the air. Four Tigers are heading around it. Carter Hayes will take it for out number 1. So just your run-of-the-mill high fly ball towards the pitcher's mound, and the third baseman will take it for out number 1. It brings up Riley. Actually, it'll bring up Ross Piskaric. Piskarich, excuse me, will come in as a pinch hitter for Helen. The first pitch is in there for strike 1. Piskarich batting .264 on the season, with 1 away here in the top of the 9th. The 1-0-1, it goes to 1-1. That pitch is low. Villa-Roman on deck. He pinch ran in the 8th. One by Robio. Swing and a miss. Strike. Oh, they said that actually fouled away. Strike, or it will still go to 1-2 regardless. Laskarich, a junior from Bakersfield, California, went to Liberty High School. Looking in to a 1-2 pitch by Vince Arobio. The 1-2. Check swing. Did he go around? They say he did. Free will throw it on to first after the drop third strike. And there are 2 away. And you can hear the crowd as they say, come on, boys, one more out. And the last opportunity for the Dons here tonight is Tyler Villa-Roman. Villa-Roman batting 178. The young freshman from San Mateo, California, faces the grizzled veteran at, 22 years old, the senior. 2 away here, and the first pitch is a little high and tight for ball 1. Be amazing to see where guys like Arobio will end up in the summer. The 1-0, that's up high for ball 2. Could also say that about Danny Mayer. My eyes will be glued to the TV screen to find out where these guys may end up. The 2-0. That misses inside, ball 3. Free gave a little nod as to say, no worries, we got this. Either that or couldn't believe that one didn't get called. But a 3-0 by Arobio, and that's up high and inside, ball 4. So a 2-out walk for Manny Ramirez Jr. Want to also invite you to go ahead and stick around for the post-game show. We'll have one guy that's finishing up his career here at Pacific, and one guy that is just getting started. So we'll see James Free, who had a stellar night tonight. 3 for 4, and Danny Mayer 2 for 4. But we still got to finish up this game. The 2 outs. First pitch is a foul tip into the catcher's mitt for strike 1 to Manny Ramirez Jr. Ramirez had a tough night going as he then finally had a base hit in the 8th inning. Came around later to score. Runner not being held on. It probably would take second. I'm surprised he didn't, as that curveball is in there for strike 2 on the inner half. I would think that Villa-Roman probably should take the second base bag just for it. Regardless, it'll be an indifference play, but we'll see what he does here on the 0-2. Arobio deals. The 0-2 is lined over towards the short-to-stop side. A jump throw over on the first. A nice dig by Schultz. He got him, and that ends the game. Tigers win. What a way to go out here in your final home game as the bullpen clears out, and they'll head on in to meet the rest of their team. So we'll step aside here. When we come back, we'll have the post-game wrap-up. And we'll have, once again, James Free and Danny Mayer coming in. So we'll be right back here on the W.TV and on the Tiger Digital Network.
9 runs on 15 hits, 3 errors, and they stranded 5 runners. The Dons had 5 runs on 13 hits, committed 2 errors, and they left 11 aboard. Tonight's winning pitcher, Justin Giovannoni, gets his first win of the season. His record is now 1-3. And the save goes to Vince Arobio, his save number 7. Losing pitcher is Thomas Ponicelli. Record now 4-2. The game time was 2 hours and 59 minutes. And fans, for the 643 in attendance tonight, thanks for joining us. In fact, thanks for joining us all season long as this wraps up the home schedule with the Tigers. Enjoy the rest of your evening and please drive home safely. Thank you.
Final score here as we wrap things up here at Klein Family Field, the final home game of the season for the Tigers. And the Tigers win 9-5. And that started off in the first inning with Kevin Sondry reached on an error. And it kind of started the wheels in motion, if you will, as the Tigers were able to take advantage of that, as Ponticelli just couldn't see things kind of hit his way in the fourth. He did get Tarantino to fly out into left, and it was a good hit, well-hit ball in left field. Left Tarantino and put Sondry still at first, but a double by James Free scored Sondry, and then Schultz followed that up with an RBI. That brought up Danny Mayer, and Danny Mayer lifted one that it may still be in the parking lot somewhere. Some lucky kid may find here at some point in time. But that scored two, and the Tigers were up right away, 4-0. It stayed about that score until about, shouldn't say till about. It stayed that way until the third inning. Third inning came around, and Sinatra led off, got a base hit, and later scored off of Smoot, who had a base hit and scored Sinatra for the Dons. Bottom of the fourth inning actually turned things around. A strikeout by Blake Berry, followed by a base hit by the two freshmen, Keaton Glover and Carter Hayes. Hayes was standing on second, and a base hit by Matt Tarantino wound up scoring Glover, putting Hayes at second, and then the double by James Free scored 2 runs as Tarantino was also standing on first. Heading into the final couple of frames, that's when USF started to do their thing and were able to start scoring some runs. In the 7th inning, it was a 1-2 inning to start off by Shreve. Shreve got Sinatra to fly out to left, and then a ground out by Geritano. Started to look like this inning was going to run into their style of play for the Tigers, and then Smoot came up, had a double. Morolio came in, had a double, and then Perry wound up having a single that scored Morolio. Smoot scored on the double by Morolio. Morolio scored on the single by Perry. That inched everything closer, but the Tigers were able to score one more in the 8th off of a base hit by Sondry that scored Blake Berry. And then in the 8th inning, Shreve allowed 2 runners on, and then was replaced by Vince Arobio. Arobio came in and pretty much shut things down with runners on the corners. And some of it was unlucky, to be honest. It was an error by Matt Tarantino that allowed Ping to reach first, and then a base hit by, a base hit by Ramirez, and Villaroman scored on the error by Tarantino. Ping reached first. That put runners on the corners. Then a fielder's choice by Sinatra allowed another run to score. Sinatra reached third after a stolen base and a passed ball. A walk by Smoot and a fly out to right pretty much ended things in the 8th. in the ninth, a 1-2-3 inning, or I shouldn't say a 1-2-3 inning, a regular fly out towards the third base side, a strikeout by Puskaric, and a walk by Villaroman, and then Manny Ramirez Jr. grounded out to short to end things out. And I don't really have to put an introduction to this kid for what he's done this season, but who we have here right now is none other than James Free. James, welcome to the post-game show. Congratulations on the season. Congratulations on this final game here at home. Tell me, just take me through this season here at Pacific, and your approach, the way that all season long you've just seemed like you've been able to do things, and how has this culture been over this whole season?
Well, it's been tough. Came out a little flat, a little bit, and then we battled back, and it clearly showed like we wanted it more, and we're not going to go out without a fight.
What have you learned throughout this whole season? Being behind the plate, there was a lot of questions coming into this season on who the catcher was going to be. We had J.P. Yackel. He came in and he graduated out for senior year. There was one of the biggest questions was who's going to be behind home plate. You came in and just did a great job.
Thank you.
What was that? What was that kind of atmosphere like to know that you were going to get the starting role on a regular basis?
Well, it was awesome. It's cool knowing that, but I'm trying not to get a big head about it, and I really try to work hard with all these coaches, and then it's all them, really. It's all them.
Let's talk about tonight's game. Let's kind of. There's a lot of things I can say about you. I've said a lot about you as far as this whole season has kind of progressed. But tonight, you came in. You had that double that in the first inning that wound up scoring Sondri, and then you just kind of had another double later on in that game. You just kind of were able. You counted for 3 or 4 of the RBI, 4 RBIs today.
Yeah. Well, I just try to stay with my process really, and I try to help the team out. That's all really.
As you kind of work on ready for the next season, you still have a couple more games left here, or not here, but in San Francisco. Then you have the UC Davis game.
Yeah.
As you kind of start to finish up your season and you start to get ready for even fall ball and anything like that, what are the things that you're going to be working on?
Oh, everything. Still, I can still get better. Behind the plate, I can get a lot better. Still hitting, I can get a lot better. So I'm just going to work twice as hard.
Well, James, I'm already going to be looking. Hopefully, you don't get too much of a big head, but I'll be looking at what the WCC says about you as you lead the league and lead the conference in home runs, and you're up there in doubles, and your average is kind of getting up there a little bit as well. But 3 for 4 night tonight, man. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, buddy. So that's James Free, and we're hopefully going to be approached by Danny Mayer here soon as the senior is. What more can you say about a kid like that? James Free, nothing more you can say about him. He really needs no introduction about what he's done, but he's done a phenomenal job here at Klein Family Field and throughout his season. He says he's not going to get a big head, but I'm gonna want to see him after he gets I'm gonna say he's going to get a couple of recognitions at least this season, and I'm hopefully going to be saying that will be minuscule as I try and work that tone down a little bit because he's had such a great job. He's done such a great job. But the Tigers, once again, just as we will be soonly visited by none other than Danny Mayer, who hit his 12th home run of the season and drove in a couple runs. 2 for 4, moved his average to 244. Not the season that Danny Mayer has had, but right now James Free standing at 355. Goodness gracious. But Danny Mayer, 2 for 4, had that home run, scored 2 RBIs, and I just want to get his take on his the final at bats here, as he's I don't know where he's at. I think he's disappeared. I think he's hiding from us. But for the score, once again, Tigers win 9-5. San Francisco had 2 runs in consecutive innings, and then what more can you say about somebody like Vince Orobio? Comes in and does what he's done all season long. Winning pitcher Justin Giovannoni, and he moves to 1-3 on the season. Ponticelli will move to 4-2, and Vince Orobio gets his 7th save of the season. And I'm sure for all the Tigers fans that you'd want to have more, but you'd love to have him out there more and save opportunities. But what a great send-off for Orobio and other seniors like Blake Berry, who had a solid game tonight. Blake Berry, I mean, we barely talked about him. He went 2 for 4, scored a run, and he did strike out once. Tough nights like Lucas Halstead, he went 0 for 4, but in 3 strikeouts. As here comes the mayor of Klein Family Field, and as he comes up to say his farewells and his goodbyes, and Mr. Danny Mayer is in the house. Danny, my friend, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, Jeff?
Not too bad. Hey, let's talk about that first inning. That was a fantastic at bat. You battled back a 3-2 pitch, and you sent one off to the over left field. Take us through that at bat all the way through.
I was just looking for a pitch up and looking to drive one. They made a mistake at the start of the inning on Kevin's pop up, and we made him pay for it.
Yeah, it was funny that you mentioned that, because I remember talking to Blake Berry, and I think it was the game against Sacramento State, if I'm not mistaken. He had a solid game, and we took the foot off the pedal. Tonight, it didn't look so much. It looked like that the Tigers were, other than that second and third inning, Tigers were pretty much on it all night.
Yeah, and that's great for us, because our last game at Santa Clara on Sunday, we did the same thing, and we were able to pull away with 2 wins there. So that was, that's big for us, and I think, that's going to be a focus in the future for Pacific, is, keeping the pressure on them and not folding, when we get up early.
Take us through this last home game for you. I mean, you're a senior here. That was your last at bat, your last home run. This couldn't have I'm sure you would have loved to have had that been your 4th at bat. But for you to be able to do that in your final game here, just when you approached that plate this last game, was there any kind of different of your emotions as knowing that this is your final game here?
A little bit. I mean, I knew it, but at the same time, it's just another game. I'm wishing and hoping to have plenty more games. So I was just going into it thinking, not to put too much pressure on myself, and that it's just another game, and looking to go out there, drive some balls, and help get a win at our last home game here at Klein Family Field.
We had James Free on right before you, and was talking about just the amazing season he's had for a freshman. I mean, it's just absolutely phenomenal. Not many people can sit there and say what he's done. As you look at the future of the Tigers,
yes,
as the senior looking in, with the cornerstones like Sandri, and you have Free, and you have Reynoso, guys like that, where do you see this program as it starts to really change the culture here?
I think it's definitely on the up and coming, and I think we're on an uphill climb. We didn't have the season that we wish we would have had, but we also dealt with a lot of big injuries.
Absolutely.
With Will Lyden, Shelby Lackey, Nate Verlin. So it's tough when you got those 3 key guys that go down, and we just kind of tried to make do with what we had, and but I think in the upcoming years, I definitely think with the young guys that we have on this team, I think Pacific is definitely turning it around.
Okay, with that question being done, I wanted just to get your opinion about that. You're not done here. You're still got a couple more games.
Yep.
So as you look in, you got 2 games USF, you got 1 more game at UC Davis. Take us through that focus as you start to focus on heading on over to San Francisco.
Just trying to have fun and enjoy my last couple college games. These are some times that I'll never get to have back, and I'm looking forward to enjoying the last couple games with the group of guys that we have here.
Well, Mayor of Klein Family Field, congratulations on the season. Congratulations on this win. We hope to look forward to you over in USF.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. So Danny Mayer has calling things out, and once again, the final score, final time, Tigers 9-5. Because I think it kind of threw me off. I was making sure that I was not being approached. For the San Francisco Dons, they moved to 27-28 on the season, 9-16 in the West Coast Conference. The Pacific Tigers, they are now 18-32, 6-19 in the West Coast Conference. The final score, final time for the Pacific Tigers, they win 9-5 to the San Francisco Dons. And for the entire Pacific Tigers athletic department, for Michael January, the producer, Mr. Market Leong standing behind the camera, I'm Jeff Dominic saying thank you all very, very much. Have a great rest of your evening.
I know, being a college freshman is supposed to be tough, but let me tell you about my schedule this semester. All 18 credits. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I have American Lit at 8:05 a.m. And then I only have 15 minutes to get to my 9:15 Ethics and Value Theory class, all the way across campus. Then in the afternoon, Calculus 1. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have 2 lectures that go through lunch, Sociology of Families, then Intro to Microbiology, pre-med. And finally, I have a double lab that ends around 9 p.m. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you.
If a kid will do whatever it takes to get through college, what will you do to send her there? Please support the United Negro College Fund and call 1-800-332-UNCF, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. A public service brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Ever think of light bulbs as being cool? They are if you choose energy-efficient bulbs and fixtures that have earned the government's Energy Star label. They're so hot, they're cool. Because they burn cool and last up to 10 times longer, you save money and oodles of energy. Change a light, help the environment, save some green. The solution is as close as your nearest lamp socket. Brighten your environmental future. From the U.S. Environmental Protection.
In a world where your tires are your only connection to the road, one man, 4 tires, free air. An epic battle against underinflation, tire damage, and even tire failure. In the ultimate fight for properly inflated tires, the warrior gives his heart, his soul, to keep those he loves safe on the road. Tires will inflate. Money will be saved. A message from the Rubber Manufacturers Association.
Statistics say that 4 out of 10 high school students will drop out of high school. But sometimes the difference between dropping out and finishing is a boost.
I sort of got messed up into gangs, and this one girl named Maria, she just told me to get my things straight. And ever since then, she's been there for me.
10 real-life, at-risk students are filming their year, so you can see what it's really like trying to get through high school. Go to boostup.org to see their stories, and give someone you know a boost, so they can finish. High school is hard. Graduating is harder. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name is Aaron, and I'm a survivor of mannequinism. Mannequinism is basically when you turn into a hard plastic shell. They say it's from not being politically active.
Army and the Ad Council.
Hi. For me, it started when I didn't register to vote. And then I stopped volunteering, and before I knew it, I wasn't doing anything. And that's when I found the first sign. A small, discolored hard patch of plastic on my right shoulder. I thought it would go away on its own, but it didn't. It kept spreading. And when I could no longer conceal it with a t-shirt, I knew I had to see the doctor. He said I had this early stage of mannequinism and that my only hope was to get involved, even if it was something simple. So I began reading the newspaper and instantly got feeling back in my arm. I guess you could say I'm living proof you can fight mannequinism.
Protect yourself from mannequinism. Log on to fightmannequinism.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
That's the Big Dipper over there, and there's the Little Dipper.
Rub the balloon on your head like this, and then it'll stick to the wall.
Brown shoes, brown belt. Black shoes, black belt.
Pucker your lips, leave a little hole like this, blow out, and that's how you whistle.
And that's why radios don't go near the bathtub.
Glasses, you idiot!
Remember, you're always teaching. Teach carefully. React with rage, and kids will learn it's okay to do the same. Keep your cool, and kids will do likewise. For a few quick pointers, visit actagainstviolence.org or call 877-ACT-WISE for a free brochure.
Well, a cow pie really isn't a pie.
Brought to you by MetLife Foundation, National Association for the Education of Young Children, and the Ad Council.
I know, being a college freshman is supposed to be tough, but let me tell you about my schedule this semester. All 18 credits. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I have American Lit at 8:05 a.m. And then I only have 15 minutes to get to my 9:15 Ethics and Value Theory class all the way across campus. Then in the afternoon, Calculus 1. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have 2 lectures that go through lunch. Sociology of Families, then Intro to Microbiology. Pre-med. And finally, I have a double lab that ends around 9 p.m. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you.
If a kid will do whatever it takes to get through college, what will you do to send her there? Please support the United Negro College Fund